Hey, it's your old pal Lucid Stew again. It's been a bit since my last video, so I wanted to explain what's going on. The color wheel video was a bust, so I dropped that whole idea. In the meantime, I've been making various things and working on some music, such as the random jazz generator you're seeing and will be listening to during this video. I've also been working on some metal songs with my Dreams music buddy Jack Knight 25, and we'll probably also release a few things the community can use with their game content. Here's a taste of that. The big new direction of my channel is going to be this RDO Jones concept. I think the new Ancient Times assets are really good, and I think a lot of people will use them. However, they have issues in certain contexts. I'll come back to that in a bit. RDO Jones is an adventure platformer inspired by the look and design of the Ancient Times assets. Eventually, this will be a full multi-part game with an encompassing narrative. Right now, it's fairly bare bones. This scene was my entry into the Ancient Times Game Jam and features a few sections with some minor gameplay. The set is complete and the lighting is essentially done. It also has a few cutscenes to explain what's happening, so it's about one step beyond a typical scene that you might see out there in the Dreamiverse. Built out set, not much else going on. Getting content from that state to a finished game product will be the focus of many of my coming videos. The beginning of that will be how to get from a completely empty set to the state in which RDO Jones currently resides. There is a story, there is direction. Things happen, there is an objective. Even though it's rudimentary, it can be considered a game. I've begun the process to bring it to life. I also want to show you how you can tweak the Ancient Times assets and make them work better in certain contexts. For instance, with a large static scene like this, the Ancient Times assets in their default state would put you way over 100% gameplay and graphics thermo. But this version still looks good, and you can tell on sight that these are the same assets. As an aid to this upcoming content, I have uploaded a few things to the Dreamiverse that will help you follow along. One is the set I used for my RDO Jones level with all lighting and logic removed. The only thing beyond sculpture elements are a few sounds here and there. We've seen this sort of thing a bunch of times. I've done it myself a bunch of times. My thought is that a fair amount of us are used to the 3D tools now. Let's move toward using other tools to further enrich our content. I have also uploaded the same scene with added lighting. This serves two purposes. One, we're going to talk about lighting. Two, if you just want to use the set to make your own content, here you go. And thirdly, I have uploaded a guide to the Ancient Times sculpture assets that tears them all apart so you can see where they may be going wrong for you and what you can do to correct that. And I'll be talking about these ideas fairly extensively in upcoming videos. As I said earlier, RDO Jones will be a multi-part adventure, and I've started work on one of the other parts. The Valley of the Ancients intro mentions some things going down in Marrakesh, so I'm going to build a level there. This aids us in a few ways. Firstly, we can talk about ways that we can emulate the Ancient Times look and or use those professional artistic techniques to make our sculpts look better. Secondly, we can talk about building a level from the ground up. I think that makes a nice addition and brings us full circle from the start of the process to the end. In there, I'm also going to talk about some sculpting and building techniques I've come across while making these assets. And as always, I publish everything remixable so you can actually grab and use those assets now if you want. But don't make anything too good and show me up in the meantime. The Ancient Times assets use a lot of paintings, so I'm starting to look deeply into what you can do with paint and how to add that to our skill sets. One thing I'm working on is a paint fleck guide. This is already published in basic form, but will be greatly expanded soon. I made a lot of assets in the beta and a lot of people have used them to make some really cool content. However, my sculpting skills in Dreams have increased considerably since then. In addition to all this RDO Jones content, I also intend to go back through my old content to make it better. I also want to expand and complete those sets so I can say they're done and finally move on to bigger and better things. I still have aspirations to complete at least one full game title in Dreams and translate it to a pro game engine sometime in the next 2.5 years. That's a big job and it's a big process. We're going to be talking a lot about things we need to do to get there by working on the RDO Jones content. So in some ways, this new content is going to be the foundation for the full sequence of taking us from a random person that bought Dreams to someone that has created and published a real game. It's a journey and a process. Join me. It's going to be hard work, but also a lot of fun. I should have the first of the new videos up this weekend, so I'll see you next time.